Is technology good or bad? I think technology is a bad thing. Technology has had a lot of effects in our society, mainly have been negative. On CNN, I read an article that says that the average American spends over 10 hours a day. That is crazy. When I hear that, I picture this literally a person submerging their face into a screen. How that is nearly half a day spent using some sort of technology. My last 2 points on the slide I will get into further depth as this slideshow goes on. Technology endangers people's lives and it causes mental and physical damages to our body. Wearable technology. Wearable technology is constantly tracking you. If anyone owns a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, you know that it can track the amount of steps you take and can track the distance you have run, your heartbeat, your blood pressure, and just about anything. Well, just like normal people use this, our military has uses this as well. So recently I read an article that was published on January 28th, and the article stated that just as an average person uses it, the military was using it to track their steps and their distances on runs. And this information was put into a poll, and it gives away the location of secret United States Army bases. That is not good. Now our enemies know exactly where we are. The size is not relevant now, but in the case of Thad from our computers ourselves, he stated that he has like an eyepiece and he's actually got to put it on him. To me, that would be a big con. I don't want to have that extra weight. I feel like it would get in the way. But today they have made it relatively easy to wear. We don't have very big wearables. Again, our biggest wearables today are either Apple Watches or Fitbits, and some people do use Google Glass. Now, the bad thing with wearable technology is their battery life. You can't have an Apple or Fitbit watch last you a week. You gotta charge them every night, or else your battery is gonna die. Another thing is the cost. We all know that our technology is expensive. If you want to buy a Fitbit, it's going to cost you anywhere from $150 to $250. An Apple Watch is going to cost you $400, and it's just relatively expensive to buy a wearable technology. Another bad thing is people become dependent on their wearables. I say this because they no longer have to remind themselves or go walk over and grab their phone. You can text people from your watch. You can say, "Hey Siri," on your wearable Apple Watch and say, "Hey Siri, remind me to do this," and you no longer have to remember to do that. Siri is going to remind you at a certain location or time. And that gives me to my next point. It decreases your memory if you no longer have to remember when you get home to take out the laundry because Siri is going to remind you as soon as you get to that location. Then it just decreases your overall memory. Here are some images of the technology that I'm talking about. Here's the Google Glass, the Fitbit watch, and of course the Apple Watches. Speech technology. We have technology such as Amazon's Alexa. Every Apple device has Siri, and Google has recently made a speaker or on Android phones or the Google app. You can simply say, "Hey Google," and it'll prompt you just as Siri would. My problem with this is who's on the other side listening. I understand that this technology is constantly waiting for the cue, such as "Hey Alexa," or "Siri, show me how to do this," or "Hey Google," and I can ask them any question. Who is on the other side listening? Are they listening to you 24/7? To what extent do they listen to? Are they just listening to everything you say, waiting to hear, "Hey Alexa," or "Hey Google, Siri, help me with this," or to what extent do they listen to? How does the amount of time we spend on technology affect us? On an article I read called Health and Technology by Digital Responsibility, here are some of the defects it causes on our mental health. We become depressed, people become narcissists, and we have cognitive losses, all of which I can see happening if you get on social media and you see that, your ex-boyfriend now has a new girlfriend and you just broke up with him last week. That can cause depression. Social, we have social deficits. People have become to have began to isolate themselves and become more antisocial. There is no longer a need to go visit your friend when you can just get on Facebook and be like, "Hey, glad to see you're doing good," or tweet them and be like appreciation post and put an Instagram picture of you two and say I miss you. There's no longer a need for us to go out there and do that. Now this gets me to our next point. Mainly, I believe this happens to toddlers because you see toddlers using computers on a daily basis, watching their cartoons or whatever. It causes vision loss. If you're looking at a screen for a minimum of 10 hours a day, it causes neck strain, and most of the time we're watching videos sitting down, so you can see how it causes back problems and all of the sorts of physical deficits. Social media. Social media has become an addiction in our society. It interferes with our work and school. It People gain an impulse to check once they post something and they see this person commented, this person commented, this person liked it, this person reacted to your post. You want to see that, and you constantly get on it every 3 minutes just to check who else has liked it. How many likes do you have? How many comments do you have? Has this person seen it? And stuff like that. Recently, I saw this just yesterday in my class. Our instructor asked that we don't use our phones, and people were so upset at the fact that they couldn't use their phones. They literally packed their stuff, walked out of the class. That is insane. It is just an hour or two without your phone. Believe me, you will not die. The way I see this is people literally need social media. They use it like if it was blood, as you can see on the left side. Without social media, they won't survive. They need their daily dose of Facebook, YouTube, and Tumblr. Technology is causing accidents. One out of every four car accidents is caused by texting and driving. Texting and driving is 6 times more likely to cause an accident than drunk driving. We have 300,000 injuries and 3,000 deaths a year just from texting and driving. Now, here's to put it into perspective. The dangers of texting and driving. Texting and driving takes your eyes off the road for 4.6 seconds. If you are going 55 miles an hour, it's like driving an entire football field blindfolded. That is insane, especially if you're driving down a residential road and a child loses his ball, goes after to chase it. If you're not paying attention for this 4.6 seconds, that could be potentially hazardous. Just as well as if you're driving on the highway, someone makes a lane change and they get in front of you. That can be disastrous. Thank you very much for your time.